Ready on the left. Ready on the right. Shooters, you may fire when your target appears.
Check it out.
So in the Marine Corps, when you go to the rifle range, they have like these announcer guys, and they're always, as the kids call them, extra. They're very extra, these guys. And that's what they do. Ready on the left. Ready on the right. Shooters, you may shoot when your target appears. And you're like, hey, what are you saying? Oh, man. Anyway, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Nothing much, man.
How we doing?
Life is good.
We're getting locked down again. Oh, I'm coming down on your level, baby. I'm coming low. How am I looking over there? Am I looking okay?
Don't go down on my level. You shouldn't stoop to my level.
How's that? We good? Good? We're good.
Looking good to me. I'm gonna be relaxed today.
Do it. Do it, baby. Yeah, we're getting locked down in Virginia, people. Y'all thought I was playing in the 757. I can't stress this enough. Y'all got to wear a mask. That's my Governor Northam.
It's like 4 people
impression.
running for government now. I'm gonna announce my campaign
Candidacy
soon as well.
Tony for mayor of Virginia Beach.
I'll leave everything the same. Sometimes that's all you need. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone, dude.
Leave it alone.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I promise I'll give it back to you the way it is right now.
Well, another, we won't harp on the old pandemic because played out. So we made a quasi-viral video recently. Kind of. Viral on one social media outlet, and I don't know, I guess that's kind of viral-ish in terms of...
define viral.
views. Yeah, so there's a little social media program called Reddit, or an app called Reddit, where basically users, it's basically a giant collection of message boards where any interest in the entire world that you could have, there's a subreddit for it, which is a community of people where you can post and upvote things and downvote things and comment and leave likes and, very similar to most other platforms. But we produced a fake PlayStation 5 commercial, kind of poking fun at the availability of said machine. And we made it really look like a real Sony commercial. And we did it on like a lunch break in like 2 hours, and we posted it on Reddit. And it blew up. It had by the end of I think it was 35,000 upvotes on that video. A lot of people really enjoyed it, so that was pretty cool, man. It was pretty neat.
Yeah,
a fun experience.
It's a moment.
Mm-hmm. And you know what is funny? It just proves that you don't need a lot of time. You don't need to be super skilled. We threw this thing together. I'm not saying we're not skilled, but we didn't set out to make something crazy. We just wanted to make something funny that we thought we were funny, and apparently a lot of other people thought it was funny too. So
it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was fun, man. It was kind of a cool little moment for us. So yeah. Anyway, Tony doesn't want to talk about that. It's fine. It's all good. What do you want to talk about, dude? You go ahead.
Oh no,
you start.
The video was cool. There's not much to talk about on that front in terms of that PlayStations and whatnot. It ain't in stock. It won't be in stock for the foreseeable future. Christmas is haywire.
Good luck.
What you're gonna get your children. They're gonna be having the saddest Christmas on the planet because they cannot get a PlayStation and an Xbox. You're gonna have to find other things, Legos and such.
But do you remember growing up? Like, what was one of the cooler little gifts you got maybe as a kid? Do you remember something that maybe stands out for you?
It was video game consoles. I remember when we got a Nintendo 64 for like one of the Christmases. Wow. That was cool.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Other than that, it's just random toys and stuff, which some of the stuff I wish I still had, but I have a lot of the stuff still. I keep everything for the most part. I try to. Every now and then I'll find something that I forgot I still had. Yeah. It's a dope little memory. Mm-hmm. Like we found the Game Boy, the original Game Boy.
Yeah, you showed me that the other day.
That was nice.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
But I'm a sucker for stuff like that. I like just remembering the old times or whatever. Not in an obsessive weird way where I don't like the present, but it's nice to look back every now and then, compare different moments.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I had anything that stood out. It was always me and my sister, we'd sit at the top of the stairs on, the morning of Christmas, and we'd wait patiently And my dad would just torture us. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the coffee ready. You can't come down yet. I'm gonna make breakfast. We're gonna make sure that's all good." It felt like an eternity at the top of those stairs, and then finally he'd be like, "All right, come on down. Let me go down there and check it out." And they always made it real special. So as a parent now, I mean, you can relate, obviously. As a parent yourself, it's kind of fun to make those kind of memories for my kid. So that's pretty exciting. It's exciting.
So on the off chance that a child might see this, I'll be delicate
right.
and use a little bit of wisdom here. In my house, we did not do all the traditional traditions that wrap around Christmas. Adults will read between the lines.
Yeah.
I remember at one point a person told me that I was a bad parent and I was ruining my kid's childhood by not practicing all the traditional traditions of a typical Christmas.
Do you have a tree?
You know what's funny so the short answer is yes, because I hate when people just don't get to the answer. So yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, next question.
But
next tradition.
But for like the last 2 years, we weren't doing it. More because we get together with my family anyway at my parents' house, and they do the tree, and it was like space is kind of limited at my house sometimes. There's like too much clutter going on, and it's like we're gonna spend Christmas over there. The tree is at grandparents' house, like that's where the tree is.
Daddy, I want to see the tree. Well, get to walking.
And that's really the only really like traditional Christmas thing we do. At home, a lot of times we just focus more. Actually, we enjoy the Jewish traditions, like what Hanukkah is and what it stands for, and the lights in each candle and stuff. Like that's cool. Not that we do the whole menorah thing and follow that. But that's like the aspect we lean towards. We don't do all the other traditional
the Jewish traditions.
Things. Yeah, no,
really?
I'm not saying we're going around with dreidels and doing all of that.
I did not see that one coming.
But we do enjoy and appreciate the origins of the Jewish tradition and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what we lean on more. That the tree, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
I get the magic and stuff like that. Like kids believe in what they believe and they have enjoyment there. That's cool. We do a little different. It's always been that way though. It's been that way way before any church beliefs. It's been that way. Just that's how we grew up. So different things. But I always thought it was funny when a person commented to me at a job. Where
that's unfortunate.
They were like, I could never imagine me ruining my child's life the way you have. I'm like,
he said that?
It was a lady.
She said that? Something along those lines.
And my brain worked in a few different things. Like, if you know me even in the slightest, like a few thoughts immediately popped into my head. And I'm like, just reminds you this lady has no clue who I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, don't. So I just tread lightly on the topic of whether I'm doing right or wrong with my children.
Oh, man. Yeah, the older I get, the less patience I have for things like that, man.
Yeah, it's not your topic, man.
It really isn't. It's none of your business, really.
I'll give the people on that side a little bit of the behind the scenes here. Like, you and I'll have discussions, and I know you notice it. There are certain topics where I just stay quiet, and there's a gift in letting someone vent. And sometimes you don't have to inject your opinion on every single thing.
No, be
it good or bad. Sometimes you just gotta let somebody just squeeze the pus out of a wound real quick. Yeah. Let them unburden themselves, and you don't have to inject your opinion on every single topic, man. Especially when it comes to family and children.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be an ear, and then let that go and move on.
Yeah.
Whether you have an opposing or supporting opinion, you don't always have to give it just because you support it. That's it. So when it comes to the topic of children, a lot of times I just stay quiet because everybody has a different way. Everybody's kid is completely different. I don't live with your kid. You don't live with mine.
Yeah.
How dare I say the way you should do with your kid? I don't live with him. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I know what works for mine.
Yeah.
So again, we were talking about Christmas, and it's just we respect traditions and the diversity that we're in right now. So
it's a beautiful thing.
It's a bajillion different ways to spend Christmas. The most important thing is we spend it with your family.
With your family, hopefully.
Spend it with your family, talk, sit down, turn off the TV for 2 seconds.
It is nice getting together, man. It's nice. It's that time of the year for most people.
That's what's great about all these holidays, too. Like, food is the great equalizer for real.
Yeah, man.
Just have a plate with people you care about.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's really the most important part of that particular day in terms of just the family time and stuff like that. So.
You hear so many horror stories. I've known many people that are just like, they dread this time of year because they can't stand their family. Everybody's always fighting or arguing, or this uncle hates this uncle. We don't talk about this at the table because this guy will fly off the hand. I've had a little experience with that, so I can understand that too. But that's the cool thing about making your own family as you get older. You get to control what you can control and make it the way you want to make it. So our little family over there at 4606, we're keeping it together, man. We're keeping it tight. Keeping it happy, keeping it positive.
As long as and now it's easy, right? Like, let's see.
Yeah, stay away.
We got plenty of excuses, right?
Yeah, don't congregate,
man,
Virginia.
Because if you come over, I gotta invite that one. We can only have 10 people at the house.
Yeah, hey, look, I don't want to discriminate.
Uncle Ralphie said, 10 people or less, man.
Yeah, Uncle Ralphie.
I'm not trying to go to jail.
Nah, Uncle Ralphie's not playing around. If Uncle Ralphie has to come back down to Hampton Roads and beat some asses, wear the mask. Dude, he literally says can't. He said that on the way over here. I was listening to this little thing. He's like, he can't stress enough.
How do you say Norfolk?
Oh, the city?
How do you say that word?
I say Norfolk.
Yeah, so
Norfolk.
It's funny because the people that are out there and they're of a certain...
You would know this.
Melanin alignment, they will say Norfolk.
Like, what are we in? Baston? Norfolk?
Well,
go down to Harvard, to Norfolk? Is that how we talk in this area?
What could be said about Boston that hasn't been said about Hiroshima? So
they say Norfolk like that.
Well, certain people.
Oh man, I've never heard that.
And then other people will say Norfolk.
No, like NAH, Norfolk.
NORFUK.
Norfolk. I've heard that one.
That's how I've always said it, but certain people say it.
Norfolk.
Anyway, that was a complete segue talking about Uncle Ralphie. Another segue too, like the circles, because you in your day job or whatever you want to call it, you're exposed to different groups of people from different society classes in the area, whatever. And from time to time, you come across, like Uncle Ralphie and different politicians and stuff. You will run into that, and I have, and you have in the past.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me how just when you meet a person's just a regular person.
Oh yeah,
like the perception of when you see these people on the news and you've never seen them face to face. When you actually talk to these people, it's like, oh, you're just a regular human being.
Dude,
like you laugh at the things I laugh at. The cameras turn off, and they're joking about the silliest things. They're talking about silly things. I've had conversations with people in the political arena or whatever, and they're telling me about video games. Well, I'm telling you, like people, grown men, suit and tie, just got finished, like sitting behind the dais or whatever you call this thing. And talking about, hey, Tony, did you see the new Star Wars game or whatever? It's like, it's crazy. I've been like,
regular people, dude.
Wild, like just a regular human being. Like,
I was very fortunate to meet some really kind of celebrity figures during my time in the Marine Corps, and it really is. They're just regular people, man. They really are. Mm-hmm. Some people are they live up to their legend, I guess, in terms of they really feel like they're different, but. I feel like at the end of the day, dude, like you're doing the same things I'm going to be doing. I mean, yeah, you got $1 trillion and you get to, fly on a G6 or whatever. But the human experience and like the little day-to-day little minutia, you know what I mean? You ever think about it like that? Like, so this dude still wakes up in the middle of the night and has to take a piss. Like, you know what I mean?
He still has to sit down and wipe the same way all of us do.
Nah, they still got to put, as they say, they put the pants on one leg at a time. You still got to
put your hand up there to clean yourself.
I jump just into like everybody else. But they're really regular people, man. So that's funny. It's funny you bring that up. I agree.
There are certain tests in life that I could think back and be happy of the growth I have had through those tests, and reflect and think about things I could have done better, and things I wish to do again. Right. The test of will I be a jerk when I make $1 million? I'm very looking forward to that test.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't get it. I don't get the
money changes people was what they say.
I'd like to find out.
I'd like to find out too. I'd love to put that to the test. Like you said,
this is the point. This is the test I'm looking forward to.
Does money change you? Does money change?
I'll let you know on the other side.
I'll let you know. Hopefully, I'll be able to find out
if this is true. I said it before that I heard 50 Cent say, if you think money doesn't change you, you ain't made enough money.
You haven't.
Like, I don't know. I would imagine, I hope, and I think that would not occur to me because I've had a very little bit and I've had a little bit more, and I feel like I've been relatively the same person. I feel like others around me will judge that better based on
I don't know
what they think might have changed me. People thought I changed a lot when I got promotions before, and this has been everywhere I've worked. I've ended up getting promoted because I'm just that guy.
Yeah. No one's smarter than
It's like,
you.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I'll be supervisor in 3 months. No, but it's just I've been very fortunate in that way. Just I've every job I've had, I've gotten promoted and moved up just because you work hard. Go figure. If you get there on time and you do your work, you typically will get promoted. Given enough time, you will typically get moved up. It's just the way life works. Go figure. A little bit of effort or whatever.
Stay there long enough and don't get in trouble. That's what I always say.
Pretty much, and it's not a lot of places. It's not that hard to not get in trouble. Just do your work. You'll find oftentimes that
just do the work. Don't make it anything other than work.
Yeah, no. In the workplace, you'll find oftentimes that it is more common to see people complaining and not wanting to do the basics of their job.
Why
and
did
to
you
make
take the
it
job?
easy for you to overcome and look good in a group of people that are just being mediocre and just complacent, right?
Yeah. Anyway.
But the only time I saw like a change in the workplace was the few times that I did get put in like a supervisory position. Like immediately, dude, like the same day it was like, it's over. You're an outcast, shunned. And part of that are effects in life that kind of change you for good and bad. The good thing was I learned a good lesson, and it's that in the workplace you are co-workers, and that's what you are. First and foremost, you're co-workers. You can have friendly conversations and little bonds and moments, but you're co-workers. We've talked about that before on this podcast at some point because it's like being real, like deja vu to me right now. But the bad side of that, like if it could be called bad, is just you do develop like a calloused heart little by little. Like it's just like, oh man, we're now it's all business. It's all business now, because people will put you in that position. Unfortunately, that's why it's hard a lot of times to do business with family and friends and stuff like that. Like
very difficult.
You risk that. It's just really difficult. It can work, but man, it takes a lot. And that's a challenge I deal with. Like I'm thinking now, like it's a challenge to when you're friends, you can hurt each other. You can forgive each other quick. You can have rough jokes. You can have rough times and stuff like that, and you kind of get over it, right? Mm-hmm. But I think when you're friends and those situations happen and there's money at stake, it becomes an even more sensitive issue. And me, I'm the type that sensitivity makes me even frustrated sometimes. Not to the point that I'm angry, but it just causes like an anxiety on top of it where it's like, man, like sometimes in life, it's like, let's rip the Band-Aid off and keep it moving. And I can't think of anything that has happened recently to think that. We always talk in these podcasts, we always paint broad strokes and just talk about life in general and different experiences. And I'm just like, man, like that's the challenge to really deal with whenever you're working with friends. And I've worked with friends. I've worked with you now for 3 years. I've worked with other friends in the past, and I have not necessarily always had the best of experiences working with other friends because of that. Because it's like, all right, we could typically have arguments left and right about X, Y, Z, but at some point we have to put that to the side. Forget your feelings. There's something that has to be accomplished now, and not everybody's built for that.
Yeah,
not everybody can handle that, and that's why I am working with the person I'm working with today, because situations don't work out, and I'm happy for the way life goes. I'm very grateful, but it's a shame, man, because a lot of times when business and friendship doesn't work out, you lose both.
Yeah, and that sucks. We've done a really good job with that, I feel. I mean, of course, we've had our rough patches, as any business owner is going to have. Mm-hmm. But I've never once felt that our friendship was at stake ever. Of course, there's been Band-Aid moments. There's been rough, very emotional moments. But like you said, man, when you have a certain kind of relationship with somebody, I feel like we do. It's like a brotherhood, man. We can we bounce back.
Well, and we knew going
we have to.
Yeah, and we knew going into this thing where it's very akin to like a marriage. Mm-hmm. It's really akin to because when you get married, your who was your best friend at the time. Mm-hmm. becomes your wife now, and now right, becomes the same access to the money. It's really like there's no better metaphor to me that I see like in terms of going into business with anyone. Forget if it's friends or whatever. Once you go into business and you become partners in a business and stuff like that, you are now playing with the same amount of money. Yeah. It's the same pot. The same, responsibility, authority, the same way anything I do will affect now your house. That's a lot of trust to put in people. And this is more advice for anybody. Like the same way we want to learn from other people's experiences. If you're trying to start a business right now and you're thinking about doing it with your friends in terms of like, I'm going to start it with my buddy from wherever the heck, start really considering that this person is now their actions, because as men, a lot of times we want to make the decision and we want to control the decision in our home. And that's just the way it is. you are now giving that responsibility to someone else, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you what to do with your house's money, but for sure, any decision that if I go off the lone ranger or whatever and start doing decisions for Tsunami on my own, I am now making the decisions for your family.
Mm-hmm. That's why we don't do those things.
And it's a lot of trust that takes that, But there are little things that you do, I do, and then there's things that we just know instinctively. This is something we got to sit down and talk about. Because we have in the past done little things. Okay, I'll have this conversation on my own real quick. You have the conversation on your own over there.
Hey, I took the card. I picked up this thing we needed. We've already talked about. Yeah,
minor things.
There's a little thing, but
and maybe we should have rules. Like one time when we had first started, I had a buddy that's in the military, and he's like, the high up, however many years in, and he was like, you got a business partner, and you guys both have access to the account. Like no one has to. I was like, well. Hasn't been an issue up until this point. I get it on paper. Maybe when maybe
in a different industry. I just feel like in our job, well, we might have broken the mold, man, because you and I, we discuss everything.
I mean, that's really
even the littlest of emails and how we word it. We'll sit there on speakerphone together and write an email over the phone together, dude.
That's really the key, is the communication. You're gonna have to, in any relationship, you're gonna have to communicate. You're gonna have to trust.
Yeah.
We're learning all the time, man. Learning in different relationships and with each other, just the level of trust. And dude, one thing I'm always challenged with, just everywhere, not just in this particular situation, but it's just like, don't assume anyone's intentions. Like, it's hard to, you have to stop assuming people's intentions. You have to stop assuming the worst. Stop assuming why they said what they said.
Such a bad problem with that, man.
Sometimes a joke is a joke.
Yeah.
I know that and as a guy that jokes too much, I can tell you that there's a lot of truth in jokes, and it's hard to break that mold that not every single joke has truth sprinkled into it. Not every single one, and not every single statement was about you. They might have been mad about something else, and it just came out, that energy towards you, whatever. Like, it's hard to move past that and learn that in any relationship. I get in trouble with that, not just in business, but I get in trouble with that with other buddies and stuff like that. Like, I live too much in my head. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I enjoy reading a lot. I'm a big fan of philosophy, the Bible and other. I was telling you, I was reading Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, from 100 AD or whatever. Reading his thoughts. I enjoy reading other people's thoughts and learning from them, and that's it messes me up, because I feel like I'm a student of behavior and conversations and emotions, and that stuff can get you overthinking the most simplest of things and kind of harming the relationship. And it's, what sucks most about that is you've already made a judgment in your head, and the other person has no idea. They don't have the opportunity to fix that, to address that.
You've already made up your mind before they've even said anything.
And you've already stewed things in your heart where it's like, now the next time you already created a wall, and I call it, you callous your heart already, and you didn't even give an opportunity for that to be addressed.
Yeah. It
might have been a comment that wasn't meant that way at all.
This happens a lot to me in my relationships. I'm terrible at that, man. I'll let my own self-doubt and my own anxiety and my own procrastinations and my own issues start to dictate my feelings towards other people and how they are feeling about me. And it's like, dude, what? No. That's on you, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the frame of reference that we judge others is going to be based on the way we would do things. And you're right. You kind of said it. Like, your own insecurities are what you're going to judge other people on.
Yeah, no. Like, it's going to kind of secrete itself.
I was out, for example, procrastination is a problem that many people have. I have it. And if immediately you are a person that's procrastinating and you know that, and that's a little thing that always bothers you in your own brain, that maybe, man, it'd be better if I wasn't procrastinating. And you don't, when you're dealing with something internally like that, you don't like it always beat over your head. You don't like it mentioned all the time. And if somebody says, hey, we're going to be here tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and then they hit you up later and they say, hey, make sure it's at 9, like red flags start going off. Like, what are you saying? I can't be anywhere on time? Because you already are dealing with internally that you kind of know that you have that struggle, right? It's just a random example. We always get everywhere early.
Yeah, but no. we take our time. We like to get there and sit there and stew about things in a parking lot for 30 minutes.
Just random things that, when you're working on something, it becomes a sensitive area. Yeah. And it's like your buddy didn't mean that way. And
yeah, no, it's just... Oh, dude, and I know I got to be frustrating. Dude, I'm the worst time management guy. I'm like, yeah, we said 3 o'clock, right? And you're like, you mean this time? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, no, that stuff is fine. We check up all the time.
We just get to every job on time. Man. Yeah, we double down.
We do freaking 300 calendar checks all the time.
Yeah, dude.
I hope we don't frustrate customers like that. Like, we've had people, like, they ask simple things like, hey, are you available tomorrow? And I'm constantly like, let me talk to Matt, and we got to look at both. We have... Between the two of us, we have 4 calendars.
Yeah, got a couple of calendars each.
4 calendars, and then we still got to check with the wives.
And we got the family calendar.
So there's really 6 calendars to look at.
Yeah.
And maybe it should be better. Maybe we will be better about that. But
that's funny.
Today we have to check a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
anyway, you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, that was good. It's a good show.
It's a good enough time.
Yeah, man.
Christmas is upon us. The lockdown is here. Order your things online.
That's right. Keep Amazon churning, baby. My goodness, Bezos needs more money.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I'm just
Without
joking.
saying what, just because I can ask you this off camera, but we're going to close here in half a second.
Yeah.
Did it change from back ordered or no?
No.
That's unfortunate.
Not yet.
All right, well, we'll have an update on what we're talking about at some other point in life.
Oh.
This is Tony.
And this is Matt.
And that's the Tsunami Podcast.
Yeah, baby. Na. Nicely done.